My gay son. You can't be judgmental. No matter, it doesn't matter what the subject is, whether it's gay or how you wear your hair or, you know, it's unconditional love. I had 4 children in 5 years, and of course they were in the closet for a long time. Chris was the first one that jumped out, and I wasn't worried about it at all until I realized that it was in the middle of the AIDS situation, and that terrified me. Oh, he just said, "Mom, I have to tell you something," and he told me.
She was the second person I came out to. I came out to my sister and then my mom.
Which sister?
Linnea.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
And yeah, I just didn't think much of it. I think it took me a little longer to tell my dad. Not that I was that concerned he would judge it. I just think there is something about same-sex parent. I have told people my coming out process was pretty straightforward. I knew I had accepting parents. At the time, I did not know my brother or my sister would come out. I came out to my brother and he came out to me in the same conversations. My brother was the last one to know in my family, and I was concerned about telling him.
Did you think he was gay?
No.
No.
He brought a guy home, remember? Kevin Belden or something.
Yeah.
And we went in, I remember we walked in the other room and there was one bed and we were like, do the math on that. And then I remember Linnea just called him. Linnea doesn't mince words. She said, "Jimmy, are you gay?" And of course I couldn't hear his answer, and then she handed the phone to me. I also remember it was not just coming out. It was at a time where your first question was about being safe.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a concern.
Oh, yeah.
You wanted to push him back in the closet and stay there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Until
or a crate
where you're safe.
My reaction to the 3 of us coming out had more to do with you not having grandchildren.
Oh.
That was probably the most difficult, because I knew, and that was at a time where having kids wasn't really an option.
Yeah.
And I knew you would be an amazing grandmother. So
But I also felt for the 4th child.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a huge responsibility in a way on her. And she did try to get pregnant, but it didn't work.
Did you go through a grieving process when he came out?
Grieving?
Yeah. No?
No.
I'm struck that you were open-minded and you were ready to tell your friends, which is also unusual in that era. No one talked about it.
Right.
So,
I'm trying to think of who we did tell. Doesn't matter.
how did you learn to be so open-minded?
That's a good question. I did have Mason Daly was in my class, and he was obviously very gay, and he was one of my best friends.
Oh.
And so, I had that experience.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of others that I met along the way that were gay, and I don't know, it is what it is. But I grew up in New Haven, Connecticut, and at the time, there was one gay bar that we, on a Friday night or something, Saturday night, we'd go by because we wanted to see what was going on, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we didn't go in.
You said earlier that you're reaching the end of your life.
I am, and I'm looking forward to it.
Wow. And how do you deal with that with each other? Does it get talked about? Does it not get talked about?
He gets talked to. They all know, the four of them know, that I really am ready for the end of the road and to go to the other side. The quality of my life is not what I would wish, but it is what it is, you know. I wish there was assisted dying, but I mean, people say that all the time. Oh, you don't look 90. Doesn't matter. I'm in pain,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's okay.
Mm.
I still have them, and my 4 children have been wonderful, wonderful. I can't tell you
Mm-hmm.
how supportive they've been.
I always respected our discussion about life and death. We've always talked very openly, and I feel I have shared a certain perspective. And
Yeah. They understand. They do understand, but we haven't found a pill.
Mm-hmm. Right.
no, she's always. You've been pointing at me for 30 years and saying, "I'll haunt you if you if you let me live longer
For too
than you." Yeah, it's challenging.
No, they all pretty much accept my desire, which is good, because I'd hate to have someone fighting me.
What does a mom need to know from you?
The only thing I can say, and it's very simple, is unconditional love.
Mhm.
That's what we're here for.